Slade Wilson said, "Damn, you have a lot of kids," and I said, "Yeah, they have different mothers, but I have the ability to copy myself to always be with them." And then Slade asked me a serious question. He asked, "So what are you exactly?" And I said, "Well, I'm a old god in a young man's body with all his memories, but I am also incredibly powerful now, more powerful than I have ever been before." And he said, "You're not lying." And I said, "I am the sun god Ra." And he said, "Damn, if that's true then you must be powerful." And I said, "Yes, that's true, because every galaxy lives under a sun, Slade, and whether anyone believes it or not they look at sun like it's bigger than themselves." And he said, "But wait, why did you need me?" And I said, "You're asking the wrong questions. You should be asking me what I need you for exactly. It's because I need you to teach me a skill set that I don't know about, and because I need your help, and I need someone to protect my wives and my family, and I can see the future." Slade Wilson, "You would be better off with me, trust me on this one, but I will tell you this, you won't regret a second working with me, because we are going to change the world for the better, but I need your help to do it, and I know deep down you want to make your family proud of you. This is the way to go." And then one of my ninjas informed me, "Boss, a woman named Waller is here to see you." And I said, "Okay, send her in." And then I heard the elevator ding, and then the Viola Davis look-alike Amanda Waller stepped out with Rick Flag Jr. And I said, "Amanda Waller and Rick Flag, nice to meet you." And then I teleported in front of them, and they said, "Bruce Wayne the Batman." And I said, "I already know why you're here." And she said, "I've come to recruit her and you because I know you two are a package deal." And I said, "You're correct, and may I ask who you are looking for?" And then she said, "I'm looking for a woman calling herself Enchantress." And then I got serious and I said, "I almost killed her a long time ago, but that was in another lifetime." And Waller said, "So it's true then, you're a god?" And I said, "In another life I was known as Rao the Sun God." And she said, "Are you still that man?" And I said, "Yes ma'am, I am." And she said, "I don't just need the Batman, I need a miracle." And I said, "I am good at those." And Waller said, "I'm putting together a team." And I said, "Yes, I know you are calling it the Suicide Squad, or at least that's what I'm going to call it. I don't give a damn what you call it, Waller." And she said, "I know everything about you, Bruce. I know about your powers, and I know about your father, who he was." And said, "Don't even think about it. I already told you I would help you, so don't even think about threatening me, because you can't hide or save yourself from a god. Besides, I know you have a daughter, Waller." And she looked at Harley's kids and said, "You have a family. What do you think is going to happen to them if you don't help us?" And then I laughed and said, "I nearly killed that witch before, after she betrayed me. We were lovers once, and I did kill her brother." And I said, "I'm stronger now, but you're not putting a bomb in me like I'm some criminal, or anyone else for that matter." And Waller said, "I can't prove anything about you or her because you got rid of all the evidence, but in time you will slip up." And I said, "I don't know what you are talking about, and besides, none of you will be telling me what to do. I do what I want. I am a god. I will outlive you all." And Slade Wilson said, "What's this, boss?" And I said, "I am glad you asked, Slade. It seems we have a job now." And he said, "What's the job?" And I said, "We are joining the Suicide Squad." And he said, "You're kidding, right? That name is hilarious." And I said, "Well, it's the name of this new squad we are putting together." And Waller said, "Well, since you're on board, come with us." And then the canon events of the first live-action Suicide Squad movie started to play out, but a little differently, because now Harley Quinn is with me. And then at the Black Site prison we met up with Deadshot, and Rick Flag tested him, and me and Harley Quinn saw it, and I said, "Damn, I like this guy. The first think I might recruit him to my team." And Deadshot said, "Who are these people?" And Waller said, "Those are the actual heroes of the team. You're not allowed to talk to them." And then I said, "No, wait, Waller, I want to talk to him. I heard about. Why don't you come work for me?" Deadshot, "I pay well, and you will have a legitimate job. How does that sound?" And he said, "Doing what exactly?" And I said, "You will be a type of security guard for me and my family when all this is over, and if he survives I want him to come work for me, Waller." And I said, "Me and Harley Quinn will stay lifetime members of your squad if you allow this." And she said, "Done." And I said, "You will make him a free man, Waller. After this I don't care what you have to do. I want him on my team." Oh, and grab the flame guy and Mr. Boomerang. And she said, "Captain Boomerang." And I said, "Whatever." And then she said, "We have more people to get." And Harley Quinn started clapping.